I have a clip for you today explaining how, at a core level, Fox News hosts and many right now do not understand how government works at a fundamental level. It's sort of convenient that I have a clip from Fox to show you, but there are so many people out there who have the misunderstanding that if Elon Musk identifies fraud and cancels some program, that money, which was allocated on paper, now can be used for some other thing that they like. And the way Fox is pushing this narrative is by saying, hey, all this fraud that Elon is uncovering because of Doge, we are going to take the money from the fraud, from the DEI initiatives, and we are now going to get checks. That money is going to be reallocated. We just cut the government budget. We'll send refunds to everybody. We'll be able to get houses. We'll be able to get cars, and it's all going to happen very quickly. Now, let's play the clip. Obviously, just from the way I described it, I'm sure 99% of my audience understands that's not the way government works, but people at Fox News seem to think it is. So let's take a listen.
When you are finding all of this money, when you are taking it back, when you are cutting off future streams of funding, give that back to the American people. Then you will see the economy absolutely explode. And people will once again be able to take out new loans and start new businesses and all the wonderful things that follow when they have more of their own money.
Right. So I want to address this in three parts: the fraud angle, the what happens to the money angle, and the they don't really want to spend that money anyway. So first, let's talk about the fraud angle. Fraud exists in government programs. There's no doubt. I mean, every large system deals with fraud, whether it's public or whether it's private. The idea that Elon Musk or anybody is uncovering massive, previously unknown pots of money that are just sitting there waiting to be redistributed to the public is frankly absurd. Government budgets are tracked, audited, and accounted for. Sometimes they find fraud. If you find fraud, the money goes back into the program it was stolen from, or just into the general treasury. It doesn't turn into a slush fund where people start getting direct payments. It just doesn't work that way. So now let's talk about cutting DEI programs. These are initiatives designed to address systemic inequities in hiring, in education, and in other areas. You might like those programs or you might not. That's okay. That's not what's at issue here. If you cut those programs, the money that is saved doesn't vanish into thin air, but it also doesn't get funneled into people's bank accounts. It either gets reallocated to other government programs. And remember, since we run a deficit, it's not like if you cut a program, all of a sudden there's money there. It just reduces the amount of the deficit that you're running. There's no mechanism that would convert that savings that you get from cutting a program that Elon crosses off with a Sharpie into any kind of payment to people who live in the United States. It's just not how any of it works. But then this gets us to the even bigger issue, which is that a lot of these people, anytime you say, hey, did you know that we spent, make it up, we spent $1 million on some program that I don't like. They go, oh, we should take that money and we should give it to housing homeless veterans or something like that. But aside from the fact that that's not how it works and the money has to be allocated, voted on, then distributed, forget about the fact that it doesn't work that way. When you actually go to a lot of these very same people and you go, hey, you know what? We would be far better off dealing with poverty and homelessness by just giving houses and healthcare to people. And then the savings from getting them out of the emergency rooms and getting them off the street is huge. They go, no, they haven't earned that. They don't deserve that. We can't just give stuff away to people. So it's also naive to think that they're even sincere about the idea that that's what they want to do. Now, I think it's worth saying one other thing about the DEI programs. They are now scapegoating DEI by arguing this is not a useful way to spend any money. But we're talking about drops in the bucket. I'm not even saying that there's only one perspective on whether it's worth the money. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But my point is, the other day, Caroline Leavitt, Donald Trump's press secretary, held up a piece of paper and said, look, Elon found $30,000 that went to a DEI program in a multi-billion-dollar organization. That's like nothing. Even if you eliminated every single one of those DEI programs, it would do nothing relative to the federal budget. And they are fantasizing about people getting, $2,000 checks. And then absolutely the last thing here, the timeline that they have in mind, that Elon crossing stuff off in February is going to get anybody money in March or April. Put aside the fact that it doesn't work that way, put aside the fact that the budgeting doesn't function in that way. Have we ever seen money at the federal government level reallocated and disposed of that quickly? It is completely and laughably divorced from reality. I don't think they care about reality. Ever walk into a store and have absolutely no idea what wine to get? It happens to me every single time because I don't know anything about wine, which is why I love our sponsor, Naked Wines. Naked Wines is a subscription service that just connects you directly to the world's finest independent winemakers, so you can get award-winning wine delivered straight to your door. With my code PACMAN, you can get 6 bottles for just $39.99. My girlfriend likes white wine. I know I'm more of a red wine guy, even if I'm generally clueless. So we usually get the split box from Naked Wines, which has both. Naked Wines believes that great wine is an experience, and they're all about helping you connect with your friends, family, community over a shared bottle of wine. You get background information on each bottle. So when I have friends over, I can actually tell everybody where the wine came from and sort of sound like I know a little bit of something. And you can pause or cancel at any time. Head to nakedwines.com/Pacman and put in my code PACMAN for both the code and the password for 6 bottles of wine for just $39.99 with shipping included. The link is in the description.